set against a background of raw emotion, the royal family remained silent.
What do people want from me?
For you to be mother to the nation.
You've seen the images on the television. Diana gave people what they needed.
All over the world, in their thousands.
And they adored her for it.
Well, that was a clip from the highly anticipated 6th and final season of The Crown. 3 episodes have already dropped. They're already getting a lot of attention. Both reviews are both positive and negative. Joining me now to discuss is Afua Hagan, CTV's royal commentator. Afua, do you think we should have a spoiler alert before this conversation? Because we're going to talk about the content, which is already making waves. We know how the Princess of Wales died. Nonetheless, people are talking about these final episodes that have come out and saying they're pretty exploitive. In Canada, one reviewer said watching it was gross, the way that her death was dealt with. What did you think as you were watching those final 3 episodes?
I think definitely we need a spoiler alert. Let's say that absolutely, first of all. In these first 4 episodes, I have to admit, and I think everybody needs to remember this as we go into watching these episodes, that this really blurs the lines of fact and fiction. We know the facts of how Princess Diana tragically died in Paris in August 31st, 1997. Those are the facts that we know. We don't know the conversations that went on between, he was then Prince Charles and the Queen, or between Dodi and Diana. We do not know any of that stuff. And of course, that's the elements that are put in through the dramatization to bring it all together. It's filling in the blanks, if you will, with artistic license. And there's a lot of that in there. You know, I found at the screen at some point saying, that didn't happen, or how can they put that in there? I have to remind myself that this is a drama based on historical for me, and of Diana and Dodi in the car, how intrusive that must have been when they were, you know, hounded by photographers. And when we see these very private moments with Princess Diana, with Dodi Al Fayed, with the way that they felt about each other, all the things that they went through before that tragic crash in Paris, and because you also know what's going to happen, there's a feeling of trepidation as you're watching it as well. And of course, there's the element of Diana brought back as a ghost, as you saw there, Diana sitting with the Queen. That particular scene, she has been brought back as a ghost. Big spoiler alert. And of course, you know, I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. But like I said, a definite element of voyeurism when watching the show. But always have to remind myself, and everybody should remind themselves, that this, of course, is a dramatization. It is based on real life events, which happened in our lifetime, which feel very close to home. But it's the filling in of the blanks that I think some people will have a problem with.
Yeah, it's not a documentary. It's not a documentary. Now, what about the fact that apparently there's really no regard given to the good deeds that Diana did in the months, even weeks leading up to her tragic death in Paris? What did you think of the way that she was portrayed? And what are you hearing there in the UK about how she was portrayed?
There's really mixed reviews at the moment. There's absolutely mixed reviews. The first episode opens with the crash. Now, I don't want to spoil how it's handled very elegantly. You know, we saw pictures beforehand of the car, you know, that they used for the crown, pretty smashed up, looking like it had been in the crash. That's not actually included in these first 4 episodes. When it comes to the way that Princess Diana is portrayed, let's say, first of all, that Elizabeth Debicki as Princess Diana is absolutely incredible. And the wardrobe department have done an incredible job of recreating her look. So those 2 elements together, she's absolutely iconic as Princess Diana. And, you know, the headlines at the time, she was portrayed as a loose cannon, as this woman who was, you know, a threat to the royal family, who needed to be shut down in a way. And, you know, when Elizabeth Debicki is as Princess Diana. You see her going through those elements. You know, she's having conversations with Dodi Al-Fayed. He's talking about the way that he's portrayed in the media. You know, the media wrote, why can't Diana just find a nice English boy? And then they talk about, you know, perhaps we could run away somewhere together, like California, you know, very much mirroring what's happened recently with Harry and Meghan, you know. So the way that Princess Diana has been portrayed, I think definitely will anger some people.